CNN here, about to report to you some news and information about World War II. Please enjoy and hopefully you learn something. Breaking news. Yesterday, December 7th, 1941, the Imperial Japanese Navy Air Service attacked the United States Naval Base at Pearl Harbor in Hawaii. The attack happened in the morning, around 7:30 to be exact. Under the command of Vice Admiral Juichi Nagumo, he sent 360 airplanes, 6 aircraft carriers, and some battleships, cruisers, and submarines to attack the U.S. naval ships at the base. The reasoning behind this was to set back the United States air and naval in the Pacific. In total, 8 battleships were damaged, 3 destroyers were unusable, 160 aircrafts were destroyed, and 128 aircrafts were damaged. 3 of the 8 U.S. ships were completely damaged: the USS Arizona, USS Oklahoma, and the USS Utah. Although that damage was done, it could have been way worse. The most important ships, called the aircraft carriers, were out at sea at the time of the attack, therefore none were damaged. Unfortunately, about 2,500 Americans were killed, and about 1,200 others were wounded. Because of these actions, America has decided to enter the war in the Pacific. President FDR has delivered his infamous speech. The House of Representatives voted 388-1 on declaring war. Because of this attack, patriotism has spread through the country. Many people want to contribute to the war now. Many people joined the war, Red Cross or other organizations, and jobs opened up. Unfortunately, because of this, Japanese Americans will be put into internment camps out of suspicion that they are Japanese spies sending Japan updates about the U.S. Alright, that's all for today. Now a message from our sponsors.
Relax and take it easy with a Coca-Cola. Clink, clink. Refreshing. A pause that refreshes. Sources have just recently discovered Nazi-run concentration camps. Camps have been opened all across Germany. The Nazis incarcerate people who they believe to be opponents to them and their political ways of thinking. Resources have told us that when these victims, most commonly Jewish people, are sought out and evicted from their home, they are forced into a cattle truck, when they are then driven to a camp where they are separated by gender, have their belongings taken from them, and are forced to shave their heads and shower. The Nazis' official goal is to dehumanize their prisoners by stripping them of their individuality and referring to them as a number instead of their own name. Prisoners are forced to wake up early every morning and are assigned painstaking labor that leaves them exhausted, injured, and at worst, even dead. At these concentration camps, prisoners' only restroom facility options are concrete holes in the ground, which aren't enclosed, therefore lacking privacy. The Nazis' main objective in running these camps is to dehumanize their victims and make them suffer for not following the same belief system that they themselves did. At death camps, however, they're centers for mass execution of their prisoners. The Nazis are taking the lives of these people by gassing, lethal injections, apparatuses designed specifically for murder, starvation, brutality, and disease.
We have some breaking news. As we all know, on June 6th of this year, 1944, our troops, along with Britain and Canada, stormed the beaches of Normandy. And now, 2 months later in August, we have finally liberated northern France. Could this be the beginning of the end? This invasion was one of the largest amphibious military assaults in history so far, and took some pretty extensive planning. At Omaha Beach, there were over 2,000 American casualties, and more than 4,000 Allied troops had died. But fortunately, by the end of the day on June 6th, 156,000 troops successfully stormed Normandy's beaches. June 11th, which was about a week later, over 326,000 troops had landed at Normandy. By the end of June, we had seized the vital part of Cherbourg. This month of August, we had reached the Seine River and liberated Paris, and we removed the Germans from northwestern France. We are now a step closer to beating Hitler in Germany once and for all. I've actually just been told we have some visuals, some pictures from D-Day and from just that time span of the 2 months in between, just to give you more of an idea of what was going on in these past 2 months. Here we have some American assault troops in a landing craft as they huddle behind the protective front of the craft as it nears the beach. This is at Omaha Beach. Some Americans are aiding men who had come to the shore in a lifeboat after their ship had been shot at and sunk. Here is a visual to show exactly what Germany was doing as they fired constantly at our American troops with their machine guns. And lastly, our Allied reinforcements arriving at the now secured Omaha Beach to move inland.
Ew, what are you smoking?
Camel, what are you smoking?
I'm smoking Winston. It's the easy drawing filter cigarette. Everyone should smoke them. Tastes good like a cigarette should.
Hello everyone, I'm here with your breaking news today. April 30th, 1945, Hitler has died. He was in a bunker under his headquarters in Berlin when he committed suicide with his wife. He swallowed a cyanide capsule and shot himself in the head with a 7.65 millimeter pistol. The bunker where Hitler died was approximately 8.5 meters underground. Hitler's body was cremated by his soldiers because he did not want anyone to have his body. Now that Hitler has died, let's talk about his life. Adolf Hitler was born in Australia on April 20th, 1889. He was the fourth child of 6 children. Growing up, Hitler had a very rough life. His father died when he was very young, and Hitler was not a good student in school. As a young adult, Hitler was a corporal in World War I. The damages to Germany after World War I were huge, and the country needed hope and a powerful leader like Hitler who could talk about their biggest fears and bring hope to the people, which Hitler did. Hitler was head of the Nazi Party. He started talking about ways to overthrow the Republic, and this is when he was thrown into prison where he wrote the book Mein Kampf. This book stated all of his beliefs, and in this book you can see how he used hostility against Jews as a tool for his rise of power. In January 1933, Hitler became chancellor. He had huge rallies with thousands of people there to listen to him. Hitler invaded the Soviet Union on June 1941, starting the largest land war in history. During World War II, he also felt that it was his duty to rid the world of all Jews, and he did everything in his power to accomplish this. 6 million Jews died during World War II, which is kind of amazing that he could be putting up such a strong fight in World War II and running the concentration camps all at once. The Russians and the Allies were coming from opposite sides, and Hitler knew that he was going to lose the war, which leads us to today and the reason why Hitler killed himself.